Good morning, day 5. It's about 6:45, getting an early start out of Estella. And I think trying to do about 18 miles to Torres del Rio today. Looks like it's a long, steady climb for the first couple miles and then flat to downhill from there. So should be a nice day walking. It's supposed to get really warm again this afternoon, up into maybe 75 Fahrenheit. So getting an early start will help keep me out of the heat too long. Let me get underway. When light comes up, we'll come up with what today's Would You Rather is going to be. But you can see it's quiet here in Estella. See you later. So we're less than a mile out of Estella. I don't know what Bodega Sriracha is, but there's a big, looks like vineyard here. So I saw a sign back there for Arache wine fountain up this way. So this must be a winery, I guess. Pretty cool. And there's a church right up here. Got a light on in the steeple. Looks pretty cool too. All right, so there is a wine fountain here, and I just had a little cap full of wine. There's a bunch of other pilgrims here having their morning wine instead of morning coffee.
Vino.
Yeah, vino.
Is that the favorite place?
Yeah.
I come.
There's a wine museum this way. So there you go. There's somebody drinking right out of the fountain. I just used the water cap, my water bottle. I don't really need that much wine at 7 o'clock in the morning, but how about that? Wine fountain on the Camino. Open all the time. Only in Spain, baby. All right, good morning. Sun is coming up in the background there. It's time for today's Would You Rather. So, this is a historical figure. Would you rather? Would you rather have dinner with Michelangelo or Beethoven? I'll have to think about that one a little bit, but give it some thought and let you know what I think a little later. But it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. See ya. There's those big white mountains, kind of rocks that stick out the top of the mountains. We're not going to go over those. I haven't found out what they're called yet, but they're just really cool looking when you're walking along. They're kind of off in the distance there, but I'll have to find out what they are. There's somebody walking down that path, way down there. But that's not the Camino, it's just somebody out for their morning walk. Just like me. Here we go. All right, we're in a little more wooded section, which I prefer. It's very nice in here. There's some side trails and stuff. In that last little clip, the hiker I was coming up upon, stopped, talked to him for a second. His name is Brian. Born in Ireland, raised in London, and has lived for 40 years in Boston. So I couldn't figure out where he was from because of his accent. It was all mixed up, but yeah, I'll probably see him down the road again. This is pretty cool in here. It's a little chilly out, like I can see my breath. It's supposed to go up to, like I said, like 75 today, but morning's starting off brisk, which is just fine with me. Man, there's another view of those mountains. I asked Brian if he knew what they were called. He didn't, but the sun is shining off the face of them. There's the sun coming up back there. Brian's down on the trail there. And this is a fantastic view. Oh, getting out early is the best. Just looks so great when the sun is coming up in the morning. Discovering some new terrain. All right, down the trail we go. Whew, got a pretty good climb going here. Thought I would show you what looks to be some kind of an old fort up on the top of that mountain. Pretty cool. Overlooks all this, which is also pretty cool. There's a farmer on his tractor, his vineyard, laying something down, fertilizer or something. But yeah, that probably was a little castle that protected this whole little region for a long time. All right, gotta climb up over this hill. It's been a good walk up this hill. Whew. Well, I'm not sure what this is at the top of that climb. A very substantial stone building. If you look inside here, it's all full of water. I guess there's a well down there and this is how it comes up or something. Maybe they used to get water out for the vineyard over there. Maybe this is where pilgrims took baths, I don't know. Pretty cool though. Huh. It's a little, doesn't look like it's too inviting to jump into. Oh, there's lights on it too, so it must look really cool at night. You know, lit up. All right, moving on. So apparently there used to be like a semi-permanent food truck set up right here for a long time. And unfortunately, I think I read either the owner, I don't know, retired or passed away or something, but it's obviously not there. Would have been a nice little break in the middle of a otherwise pretty long and uneventful stretch. I think this is kind of warm up for the Meseta in a week or so, which is a couple 100 kilometers across the plains. But it's beautiful out here. It really is, and the temperatures are great so far. Hasn't got warm yet, which is good. Carrying on. All right, coming into Los Arcos, greeted by a couple roosters here. I heard them. These are chickens, but I hear the rooster crowing. You guys had to have heard that. Oh, here they are right over here. Oh, it's a regular petting zoo. Holy cow. Hi, guys. Hello. Little sheep or a little goat. Uh-oh. Oh, look at this little one. Hey, buddy. How are you? I got everything going on in there. Holy cow. So I think there's a bakery up here on the left. I'm gonna get a little small baguette. I have some cheese that I bought yesterday. I bought I think it's manchego cheese, some kind of sheep or goat cheese. Some dates. Refill my water bottle and have a little snack before I head on to Torres del Rio. All right, coming right in the center of town here. There's a little something going on. The pastry shop was closed. That's pretty. I walked down a little further down the street. We got a side street. We got a loaf of bread. No, there's all kinds of stuff here. I wish I'd known that. It wasn't on our little map. But I'm gonna plop down here, have some water, have some bread, have some cheese, have some dates. I think I have an orange in there. Take a little rest. Nice little town square. I'm done. I'll go in there and check that out. How's this for a pilgrim breakfast, pilgrim snack? Some cheese, some dates. There's bread and cheese. There's my trusty little knife. I managed to stab my finger while I was opening that cheese. And some water. I think this is kind of similar to what real pilgrims probably ate along the way. as opposed to pizza, which they probably didn't get when they were pilgriming. All right, gonna keep digging in here. So here's the church in Los Arcos. It is spectacular. I don't know what kind of architecture this is. It's very dark, with gold and black. It looks like the organ up there. I think there's some kind of project going on in the courtyard out there. But look at the detail. It is spectacular. It's only a couple windows lighting the whole place. Yeah, super cool. I'm glad I stopped in this one. All right, let's go see what's in this courtyard. Here's that little courtyard. Looks like they got some statues covered up, some crosses. Guys in here doing some kind of work. I don't want to get in their way, so I'm gonna get out of here. Pretty cool. All right, so just outside of Los Arcos, heading down this path to that place right there. It looks like it's about 4 miles away, but you can see where you're going to get there. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. A little breezy, you can hear the breeze. It's keeping the temperature really nice for now. It's still like, I don't know, it's like 11:30. So by the time I get there, it'll be 12:30, 12:45, and it'll start getting hot. And by the time I get to an albergue, it'll be time to have a little siesta. Let's go. All right, so I was wrong. That hill, that town on the hill was the town of Sansol. Hidden behind it, right over there, is Torres del Rio. So that's where I'm heading to now. There we go. Torres del Rio. Torres del Rio, 800 meters, according to the sign here. Let's go. All right, here we are coming into Torres del Rio. Nice little bridge, but it's uphill. I wasn't counting on having to climb up and find my albergue, but we'll do it. Alrighty, so this is where I want to try to stay tonight. It doesn't open till 1 o'clock, and it's 12:30. So I think I'm just gonna sit out front, hang out and rest, and wait for them to open up. But I thought I would do the Would You Rather. We asked if you could have dinner with Beethoven or Michelangelo, who would you have? I have to admit, I didn't know a whole lot about these guys, so I stopped and had a little snack in Los Arcos. Did a little Wikipedia in on both of them. And I guess like anyone who's become synonymous with a first name in the annals of history to be one of the best that they ever did. They're both a little odd. I had some, different things about them that were interesting, and maybe, I don't know, some people might call them troubled, some people might call them different, but I think that's probably many geniuses over the centuries would be called that. So looking at both of them, I think I would probably go with Michelangelo. I'm more into art and sculptures than I am classical music. I love more modern music, but I just think, talking to him about the Sistine Chapel and the Pieta and the David, that would be awesome. So I'm going with Michelangelo. Let me know who you would go with, and I will talk to you guys later.